So
Huh.
I saw Grandma shared something about Nathan. I don't even know. I don't even want to say his last name because it was something. It was D. Nathan D from, I think she said like Joliet area or something.
Okay.
Um, he mom tagged me in it for on Facebook. But it's like the Red Pill convention, and he talks about the American Prairie Reserve,
Oh,
and it sounds like
okay.
he apparently is very knowledgeable in what they're trying to do, and he it sounded like on the surface, because I don't know the legal ramifications behind it at all, but it sounded like he understands a lot of the statutes behind the reason why agriculture is based the way it is in Montana. And he
Okay.
said, and he essentially laid out in a 9-minute episode of a quick interview with the Red Pill Convention of like, uh, this is what they're doing, this is why it's bad for us, and then these are the statutes that also support why we shouldn't do it. But like going back to like what we were talking about with the elitists and stuff like that, like it's hard to fight that when we've got all these guys trying to put themselves into the political realm so that they can help push stuff through, and it's ultimately gonna it I've sent it out on Facebook. I foresee this in the next coming decades, and when I say upcoming decades, I say probably 10, 15, 20 years. I don't think it's going to be any longer than that. They're going to cripple agriculture in the United
Oh,
States.
yeah. Well, the problem, and there's different types of leverage. There's economic leverage.
Yeah.
There's political leverage.
Well, they've
You know,
already
and
got
so
economic. We can start with the freaking calf sale that was happened yesterday.
yeah, let's talk about that one later. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just throwing it
yeah,
out there though.
yeah.
I mean, the meat packing
No, that's right.
industry, there's your economic. Then let's go
Right.
political. You know, you get your buddy in, and he rubs your back, you rub his, and they figure out a way to make everything work the exact way you want.
Well, but but the political part is also geopolitical because when you start having other countries dictating the profits that are made on some of our foodstuffs, you've got some serious problems. And you've
Yeah.
got Brazil and China owning meat industries, and they call it protein, and this drives me crazy because it's, a fancy way to say beef, lamb, chicken,
But it's also
you name it, hogs.
that pisses me off a little bit because you say protein, and you can throw things in there that aren't animal produced,
Right.
and it essentially it's a one-way trip of you trying to, people are going to think animal consumption or animal products coming to you for consumption for the protein, but it could be soy, it could be
Yeah.
uh what's the other one that you can eat, tofu, stuff like that. Like there's protein stuff in there that they can still wrap it all up in there in a nice little bow, and it's still under my protein clause, you know.
Well, and that's it. But what they're doing is still taking a geopolitical stance where what's the best way to absolutely control a country or to dominate a country? Economically,
Yeah,
you can do it. Geopolitically,
I was
and
gonna
if
say
you use their
socially.
currency or their food, it's huge. And people think that this is that I'm nuttier than a pet coon because of conspiracy theory. They'll say if they want to discredit you, you're just a conspiracy theorist. No, look around you.
Yeah.
You are unaware of what's going on with where your food comes from, and most people are. They're blissfully unaware of how they get to fill their bellies every night. As long as they can have enough cash to go and buy it, not produce it, but buy it, then they're happy. Well, what happens? You take a look at what the grocery stores were doing with toilet paper when this pandemic hit. You do that with food now.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, some people in New York City, they found that out very quickly,
Right.
unfortunately.